this slide, partly because it's the best photo I have of myself to date, really, and also I wanted to start by talking about my childhood. So I grew up an only child, and as a result, I had a lot of time on my hands, as you can see, and I cultivated a rich inner life. So I was constantly journaling, doodling, thinking, dreaming, just spending a lot of time alone in thought, and really having to make my own fun. And one of the ways that I made my own fun was with the objects around me. So beyond just my own toys and games and things like that, I was collecting keychains, collecting gemstones, stickers, and also looking to the natural world. So I would get sticks, dip them in that awesome sparkly marble paint, and then they were magic wands. Rocks would become pets. And those were really the ways that I made my own fun and kept myself occupied at that time. And as I grew older, art became the way that I kept myself busy. And I experimented with many different kinds of art, really using it as a way to try on different identities and different ways of being in the world. It was a tool for self-reflection, and I tried everything from realism to abstraction, and eventually found that abstraction was what lit me up. It got me really excited, and it got me feeling like I was getting to a really deep part of my soul in some way, in a way I couldn't really express in words. So I decided I wanted to give that gift to other people. So I decided to become an art therapist. I did a bachelor's of psychology at the University of Victoria, and then a diploma in art therapy at the Vancouver Art Therapy Institute with Erica, who's talking later. And it was a transformative experience. It really was. I started when I was 23, so quite young, and it just really blew my world open. The program was very practicum-based, so we did a lot of sort of hands-on work with clients with various populations. This photo is from a practicum I did with a camp for children infected with or affected by HIV. And a project I did with them was called an inside-outside box. So everyone got shoe boxes, and on the inside they decorated it with who they truly were inside, and on the outside it was how they projected themselves to the world. And then we had the kids write compliments or just nice things they noticed about each other throughout the week, and put them in each other's boxes. So it was a really, really special experience, and it was also one of my first experiences in participatory art making. So art making where other people have a say, they influence you, you're working in groups, and there's a sort of a special magic that comes with creating art with others and also having others influence your process. I found that really exciting. So yeah, it was a great experience, and I graduated, sort of found my way into a career where I currently am working at a nursing home. So I currently work with seniors, and I absolutely love it. It's just so joyful and fun and life-giving, and it's also sad sometimes. But making art with seniors on a regular basis, I was using many different materials, seeing what they were making, and getting really pumped up about art. And also feeling like there was a seed of myself that was an artist inside that wasn't being explored or expressed. And I wanted to bring that little part of myself out. So I decided to start making my own work and to dedicate myself to that art practice. So I started making really small little pieces, just 4x6, trying out different techniques, different styles, different colors, really just making work for myself, but also with the aim to eventually find the type of artist I wanted to be. And at that time, I was drinking up podcasts and books and things like that, and taking in all the inspiration I could. And eventually, I sort of cultivated a little book of rules for myself, sort of 3 things that I would follow to ensure that I was really being true to myself. And those three rules were: number 1, create for an audience of 1. So make work for myself. That audience is me. Number 2 is be consistent. So create work on a consistent basis. Create lots of work. But not so much that you get burnt out and you have to quit. And number 3 is, what do I want to see in the world? What type of work am I not seeing out there? What doesn't exist? What can I bring out of myself that isn't already there? And the answer to that question was this type of work. So work that was colorful, playful, dynamic, spirited, fun. I was really just exploring materials, and I was actually cutting up those paintings, those little 4x6 paintings that I had been making, and arranging them, and trying out composition and color, and just having fun, and really working from my intuition and from my feeling and from the materials. But I did feel like, I don't know really why I'm doing this. There needs to be a little more meat and potatoes, as Penny Lane would say. So I had a meeting with Penny Lane, as I'm sure many of you have, and it was, of course, transformative. She saw my work as almost an arrangement of precious things. And I agreed with that. I thought, okay. So we decided that whenever I went on a hike or camping, I would collect little objects that I found, things I found interesting, and recreate them into art objects and arrange them on a page. So that's what I started doing, and I just fell in love with it. It was so exciting. And I created a small body of work, but also found it quite challenging to do. Whereas before I was working from my intuition, just from color and feeling, now suddenly I was abstracting from real objects that you could feel and touch and see. And I didn't really feel like I had a strong visual language for myself, and I wanted to kind of cultivate that more and explore the topic of abstraction in a deeper way. So around that time, I ended up getting a grant from the Vancouver Foundation, a Downtown Eastside Small Arts grant. And this was like a year and a half into my sort of I'm an artist time, so it was really exciting. This was actually in January. And I decided to use that grant to explore these things. So explore the topic of precious objects, to explore abstraction, and also to explore creating a visual language for myself. So that's what I did. So I created a project where I got submissions from people across Vancouver of their most precious object, along with an explanation of why it's precious. So, and then I recreated them into art objects on 4x6 pieces of paper. So I've collected quite a number of those now. And as I'm making them, I'm looking at each object and thinking about which media would best serve this. What's the best way to represent this? You know, is it ink? Is it glitter? Is it string? Is it collage? Really sort of broadening my visual language and also the range of media I'm comfortable using. So that's the first sort of stage of my project. And then beyond that, I start making compositions, bringing all of those objects onto a page together. So at this stage, you know, I'm thinking about what objects should go together on the page, what media should go together on the page, how am I using color, and things like that. And also sometimes the initial object that I created changes form as it comes into composition. Sometimes it breaks apart, sometimes I'm looking at it from a different angle, thinking about it differently, just changing the way that I'm seeing the object. And then I move on to a third stage. This is just sort of an example, a prototype, if you will, using natural objects, where I'm taking a number of objects and bringing them all together into a larger composition. So what does it mean when a lot of people's very diverse precious objects come onto a page together? What does it feel like? What does it look like? What does it mean? So this project is ongoing, and kind of part of the deal with the grant is that there's a show at the end. So as a result, I'm having my first solo show on June 22nd. I'm really excited about it. It's a DIY show, so I'm doing it all myself, and I've had a little bit of help with that. So I'd love it if you all join me. Come to my show, that'd be awesome. The last thing I just wanted to say about the show and sort of why I'm doing it is I'm really interested in what we value. It's been something that's always fascinated me, and also what it says about who we are. Working in long-term care, I see the impermanence of life on a regular basis. Our bodies don't stick around on this planet for very long, and often precious objects are the only physical reminder we have of those people and their lives and what it meant. And those are the things that get passed from children to grandchildren, and sometimes even put in museums as a record of who we were and what we loved. Thank you.